Watch the full video and don't forget to subscribe to UK Fines Alert. Let's hit 100 subscribers together from this video. Right now, thousands of drivers across the United Kingdom are unknowingly breaking a rule that came into force this very month, May 2026, and the consequences could not be more serious. We are not talking about a small fine. We are not talking about a slap on the wrist. We are talking about losing your license on the spot. A complete, immediate driving ban that could cost you your job, your freedom to move, and your entire lifestyle. The worst part? Most people have absolutely no idea this rule even exists. So if you are watching this from inside your car, pull over. And if you are at home, pay very close attention, because what I am about to tell you could save your driving license today. Let us start from the beginning, because to truly understand what is happening on UK roads in May 2026, you need to understand the bigger picture of what the government has been building towards over the last several months. Since January 2026, the United Kingdom has been rolling out one of the most significant overhauls to its road safety system in recent memory. Authorities have been cracking down harder than ever. New camera technology has been deployed across cities and rural roads alike. Enforcement officers have been given expanded powers, and the courts have been sending a very clear message. They are done being lenient with drivers who think the rules do not apply to them. But in May 2026, something very specific changed, and that is what this video is all about. From the 12th of May 2026, the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, the DVSA, introduced a new legal requirement that fundamentally changed who is responsible for booking a driving test in the United Kingdom. Under this new rule, it is now against the law for anyone other than the learner driver themselves to book or manage a car driving test. That means driving instructors, parents, third-party companies, and online bots, none of them are legally permitted to handle a booking on your behalf. Now, before you think this only affects learner drivers, stay with me, because this is just one part of a much larger enforcement crackdown that is happening right now, and the ripple effects reach every single driver on the road, not just those who are learning. Let us break this down properly. For years, there has been what insiders call a black market for driving test slots in the UK. Third-party apps and automated bots would scrape the DVSA website, snap up available test slots in bulk, and then resell them to desperate learner drivers at massively inflated prices. Learners were paying hundreds of pounds just to secure a test date that should have been available to them for free through official channels. The waiting times had become unbearable, and these bots were making the problem significantly worse. The DVSA has now shut that door completely. As of the 12th of May 2026, if you are caught booking a driving test for someone else, whether you are an instructor trying to help or a company trying to profit, you are breaking the law. Full stop. And this is not a civil matter. This is a criminal offence under the new regulations. For learner drivers, there are additional restrictions that came with this change. You are now only allowed to make 2 changes to your test appointment. 2. That is it. If you need to reschedule a third time, you must cancel your booking entirely and start again from scratch, paying for a new test slot. The DVSA made this decision to stop learners, or the people acting on their behalf, from endlessly reshuffling appointments and blocking slots for other waiting candidates. But here is where it gets very serious for qualified, licensed drivers too. Because this booking rule change did not arrive alone. It arrived as part of a sweeping set of enforcement changes that are actively putting licenses at risk across the country. Let us talk about what can get you an instant ban right now in May 2026. Drink driving remains one of the most common causes of immediate license disqualification in the UK, and the rules around it are changing significantly. The government launched a major road safety strategy in January 2026, and one of its central proposals is to lower the drink-drive limit in England and Wales to bring it closer to Scotland's standard. Scotland currently operates at 22 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath. England and Wales currently sit at 35 micrograms. The new strategy aims to bring England and Wales down to that lower threshold. What does that mean in practice? It means that having even one drink before getting behind the wheel could be enough to put you over the limit. The days of thinking you can have a quick pint and still legally drive home are coming to an end. And if you are caught over the new limit, a court must impose a mandatory minimum 12-month driving ban. That is not optional. The court has no choice. You will lose your license for at least a year. For learner drivers and newly qualified drivers, the proposed limit is even stricter, around 20 micrograms, which is essentially a zero-tolerance policy. Because people process alcohol differently depending on their weight, age, and metabolism, the safest position the government is pushing is simple: do not drink at all if you plan to drive. Now let us talk about drug driving, because this is another area where enforcement in 2026 has tightened significantly. Under the new road safety plans, police are being given the power to use saliva-based roadside tests as primary evidence in drug driving cases, without needing a follow-up blood test every single time. Previously, a blood test was almost always required to secure a conviction. That safeguard is being streamlined. This means that if you are stopped at the side of the road and a quick saliva swab shows traces of a controlled substance, that evidence alone could be sufficient to lead to prosecution. Drug driving carries a mandatory minimum 12-month driving ban, an unlimited fine, up to 6 months in prison, and a criminal record that follows you for life. If you drive for a living, as a delivery driver, a cab driver, a lorry driver, a drug driving conviction does not just take your license, it takes your career. And before anyone says they would never touch illegal drugs and drive, listen carefully. Prescription medication is also covered under these laws. Certain drugs prescribed by doctors, things like strong painkillers, sleeping tablets, and anxiety medication, can trigger a positive roadside test. If you are on prescription medication that could affect your ability to drive, speak to your doctor. Carry your prescription with you. Because police now have wider powers to question and test for impairment, and ignorance of the rules is not a defense. Let us now talk about mobile phones, because this issue refuses to go away, and in 2026, the enforcement is more aggressive than it has ever been. It has been illegal to touch your mobile phone for any reason while driving since 2022. That includes when you are stopped at traffic lights, that includes when you are sitting in stationary traffic on a motorway. If your engine is on and you are in control of the vehicle, picking up your phone is a criminal offence. The penalty is a £200 fine and 6 penalty points added to your licence. But here is the part people still do not fully appreciate. 6 points means you are halfway to a driving ban. If you are a newly qualified driver who passed their test within the last 2 years, 6 points means your license is automatically revoked, gone immediately, and you have to go back to square one, retake your theory test and your practical test before you can legally drive again. In 2026, AI-powered cameras are now being deployed on roads across the UK that can detect phone use from above and at angles traditional cameras could never capture. Police forces have confirmed that expanded camera systems are targeting this specific offence. The chances of being caught have never been higher. And courts have the discretion to go further. If your mobile phone use contributes to an accident, you could face charges of dangerous driving, which carries a mandatory driving disqualification and a potential prison sentence. Now let us talk about seatbelts, because this is another area where the rules are changing and where drivers are being caught off guard. The government's road safety consultation, which ran until May 2026, has been actively considering the introduction of penalty points for not wearing a seatbelt. Currently, failing to wear a seatbelt results in a fine, typically up to £500, but no penalty points. If the government moves ahead with the proposed changes, not wearing a seatbelt could add 3 points to your license. 3 points per offence. For drivers who already have points on their license, this matters enormously. If you are sitting on 9 points and you get stopped without a seatbelt on and the new rules are in place, you are suddenly looking at 12 points, which triggers the totting up system and almost certainly results in a 6-month driving ban. The totting up system is something every driver in the UK needs to understand. If you accumulate 12 or more penalty points within a 3-year period, the court must impose a driving ban. The minimum ban under the totting up system is 6 months. If you receive a second disqualification within 3 years, that becomes 12 months. A third disqualification within 3 years results in a 2-year ban. And once you are banned for 56 days or more, you must apply for a brand new license before you are legally allowed to drive again. The key word here is automatic. Once you hit 12 points, the ban kicks in. The court does not have a free choice to let you off. You would need to argue exceptional hardship, and that is a legal process that requires you to demonstrate that losing your license would cause suffering not just to yourself, but to others who depend on you. It is not easy to prove, and many drivers who try it are still disqualified. Let us also address the new speed camera rollout, because this is affecting drivers in areas where they would not expect to be caught. In 2026, local authorities and highway agencies have been expanding the use of average speed enforcement systems and AI-powered cameras across rural roads and residential streets, not just motorways. These systems measure your average speed across a distance rather than catching you at a single point. That means you cannot slow down for the camera and then speed up again. If your overall average exceeds the limit across that stretch of road, the evidence is already recorded. Speeding fines start at £100 and 3 points, but at higher speeds, the penalties are far more severe, up to 175% of your weekly income in fines, and courts have the power to impose a driving ban for extreme cases. Repeat speeders who already carry points on their license are now finding themselves pushed over the 12-point threshold much more quickly than before. And do not overlook the eyesight rules. The government's 2026 road safety strategy includes plans to make mandatory eyesight tests compulsory for drivers aged 70 and over, requiring them every 3 years. Currently, drivers simply self-declare that they meet the eyesight standard. That self-declaration system is being challenged, and if you are caught driving with eyesight that falls below the legal standard, regardless of your age, you can face charges for driving in a dangerous condition. The legal standard requires that you can read a standard number plate clearly from a distance of 20 meters. If you cannot do that, you should not be on the road. And in 2026, enforcement teams are being directed to carry out more roadside eyesight checks as part of routine stops. So let us bring all of this together, because the message from the authorities in May 2026 is crystal clear. They are done with soft enforcement. They are done with drivers who think a fine is just the cost of doing business. The new camera systems are smarter, the testing powers are broader, the consultation on seatbelt points is closing, the drink-drive limit is heading downward, the drug driving tests are faster, and the booking rules have been legally enforced since the 12th of this month. Every single one of these changes carries the very risk of a driving ban. Some of them, drink driving, drug driving, dangerous driving with a mobile phone, carry mandatory bans that the court cannot avoid giving you. Others, like speeding and seatbelt violations, can stack up on your license through the totting up system until you cross the threshold and lose your license automatically. The simple truth is this: Driving in the UK in 2026 is more heavily monitored, more aggressively enforced, and more legally complicated than at any point in the last decade. The rules are not changing to punish good drivers. They are changing to get reckless ones off the road. But if you are not paying attention, you could easily become collateral damage, caught out by a rule you did not know had changed, or pushed over 12 points by a combination of minor offences you thought were harmless. So stay informed, check your points, know your limits, and drive like your licence depends on it, because right now, in May 2026, it genuinely does. That is everything you need to know about the new UK driving rules for May 2026. If this video opened your eyes to something you did not already know, please share it with every driver you know, because this information could save someone's license or even their life. Hit the like button if this was helpful, and drop a comment below telling me which rules surprised you the most. Are you concerned about the new drink drive limit? Are you worried about the camera rollout in your area? Let me know, and I will make sure to cover those topics in future videos. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Every week, we break down exactly what is happening with UK fines, driving laws, and road rules. In plain English, no legal jargon, no confusion. Just straight-up information that keeps you on the right side of the law. Subscribe to UK Fines Alerts right now and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your license is worth protecting, and we are here to help you do exactly that. See you in the next one. Subscribe to UK Fines Alerts for the latest updates on UK driving laws, fines, and road rules.